Welcome to another episode of the Skilled AF podcast. Today I have here Mr. Collin White. He is the founder and CEO of Blue Gopher, a last mile delivery company for construction. He's on a mission to revolutionize the construction industry, and he got his start actually in the industry before pivoting to be an entrepreneur in the space. And so I'm so excited and looking forward to talking to you about your journey, your story, Blue
Mm,
Gopher,
yeah,
innovation, your point of
yeah.
view, all of it. So welcome to the show. Excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
So let's start with your journey. When did you, well, also talking about Blue Gopher, what it is, but where did the idea for Blue Gopher come from?
Well, Amanda, I'll tell you like this. So I went to school for construction management, went to University of Cincinnati. I got my degree in construction management out of the School of Engineering and Applied Science. And I told myself while I was in those classes, taking those structures classes, those what is it, calculus two and physics and all those hard classes that were just giving me the blues at the time, that I'm not going to sit through this and go through what I'm going through just to work for somebody else. Like, this is going to help catapult me to that next level. I just didn't know what it was. I didn't know what that looked like. So I always had this kind of seed planted in the back of my head that, okay, I while I am in this industry working, I'm gonna be looking for lanes and looking for avenues and looking for ways that I could innovate, create, and help add value to the industry. So even then, when I was in school, I had an entrepreneurial kind of mind connotation. So I didn't even know what it was yet. So after I graduated and I worked in the industry for a few years, about 3 or 4 years, um, I noticed that companies were coming on strong. So this is like at the beginning of Lyft and Uber. This is like the beginning of Postmates and DoorDash and all that kind of stuff. Like, this is 2015, 2014. And I said, man, people are really focusing on moving people and moving food. But what if they just focused on construction materials, tools, and equipment? I think there might be something there, because I was a project manager sitting in the job trailer in the middle of nowhere outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And I found myself having to go to Lowe's or Home Depot to pick up those small items. I call them, it's always a nickel holding up a dollar. We were really good at the long lead items, really good at getting that material there, but it was always something silly that I would have to use my lunch break and go get, whether that's a tarp or a shovel or some bungee straps or whatever it is. I was like, I would gladly pay somebody to pick this up and bring it out here to me, because now I got to spend my whole lunch hour running errands for the job to make sure the job runs smooth. And Lord knows we all have better things we could be doing with our time. Not, that's on top of the mental health aspects of it and getting an actual break during the workday. But I could be doing, payroll, or I could be doing some other form of office work while I'm doing that. So now I have to stay late because I had to run during lunch. So that was like the beginning of the Blue Gopher. That's when it was kind of like, I see this is going on. How can we innovate it, tweak it, make it work for construction? And then fast forward from 2015 to 2018, that's when I kind of put it, not kind of, that's when I put it on paper and decided, okay, this is what I want it to look like. It was a good old fashioned web, Blue Gopher, not even spelled the way I spell it now, but it was something, it was like, okay. And it was obtainable because I could do this with little money down. I was able to kind of build this with no startup capital, no seed money, just straight bootstrapping. And for each job that we get, the money we get for that job, we're able to pay our drivers, and the overhead is relatively low.
That's amazing. And yeah,
Mhm.
you've set this intention for years. I love that.
Yeah. hmm Yeah, that's a great way. Yeah, intention. Exactly.
Yeah, very intentional. I mean, were there any entrepreneurs in your family? Anyone in construction in your family? It's just like all you.
Yeah, so I think we were having our pre conversation. I was telling you about my grandfather, and he had he's just a hustler. So he's from Cleveland. He worked for the steel mill, and every so often he would get laid off. So he had it was like White Moving something along those lines. So he would just help. neighbors, people in the neighborhood move. So my dad has fond memories of its summers going to work with him and helping him, just move people. So it was like moving service, it was hauling trash outs, that kind of stuff. So I guess you could say that it has been planted generations ago. Like this is something that maybe has been started, since the 60s and 70s. But not my parents, my immediate parents, my dad, he retired from Honda. So he worked in maintenance. So he did work with his hands. He was a blue collar worker, but not in quote unquote construction space, more of a what is that? Automotive manufacturing type of capacity. He worked maintenance, so he would work on the robots and stuff that went down on the conveyor belt and on the assembly line. And so yeah, so to answer your question, yes and no, but my background is traditional. We have 9 to 5ers in our family, so even me stepping out and chasing this dream, is a big deal. I tell people a lot of times it's like people they there's two things that you cherish. You want your freedom or you want your security. Which one turns you on? Which one gets you going? And for me, it's freedom and to be able to have a business and build it. And I think Mark Cuban said it on Shark Tank. Like I'd rather make $50,000 a year doing what I love to do, doing building my thing, than to make $150,000 for somebody else. So it's kind of that really sticks with me. This is something that it's mine, it's something I'm building, it's my baby, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's your baby.
Mhm. It is.
It's your other
It is.
baby.
My other baby, so technically, let's see. Yeah, so it's my second. So my daughter was born in February of 18, and this was born officially in November of 18. So yeah, it is.
You've obviously described the Blue Gopher, it's last mile delivery. And I'm just curious about, I guess, like what types of materials and equipment like get delivered. What types of contractors use your service, or is it specifically folks on the ground tradespeople using your service? So, and obviously you're in Ohio, so you're focused right now within Ohio, but would love to hear more about the day to day and some of the logistics side of it.
Yeah, so yeah, we are in Columbus, Ohio. That's where our headquarters is. That's where I live. But we also service Dayton, Ohio, and Cincinnati. We have a bigger pool of drivers in Columbus, but I tell people, hey, we'll go anywhere. If the pay is good, if you're gonna pay us to go, we'll make sure we can go. But a lot of our customers are your mid range to smaller um, contractors. So, a lot of stand in the vans, people that don't really have big crews. They can't really afford to pay somebody to have them on staff as a gopher, or maybe a lesser tradesman or apprentice. So they can hire us as needed. We're your gopher on demand. So we get those medium sized to small size contractors, typically residential or commercial. It doesn't matter. We do anything from a mini excavator, Bobcat, so about 10,000 pounds, down to a box of screws. So we have drivers in our pool that have four-door sedans, SUVs, pickup trucks, all the way up to box trucks, rollbacks, flatbeds. You name it, we pretty much have delivered. I even delivered on my motorcycle one time because it just made more sense to just throw some fittings in my backpack, put it on there, and the cost efficiency was just too good to pass up. And it gave me an excuse to be on the bike. So, I always take those opportunities when I can, when it's nice outside.
Yeah,
But
it'd
yeah,
be
not now.
dangerous.
Yeah, not not now. But yeah, that's pretty much who we serve. Anybody like I find that the larger companies they typically have they have systems built in for their delivery. They have somebody at the warehouse that just runs and gets stuff. And I tell them all the time, look, nobody has a crystal ball. No one knows what's going to happen. We're here for you when you need us. And that's it. We're just your gopher on demand. Right now, we've been getting a lot of cabinet deliveries. I just have a really good friend of mine who became a friend through Blue Gopher. he's one of our customers since the beginning, and he's given us a lot of cabinet work. So we deliver a lot of cabinets for third party companies. So a lot of cabinet companies either they can't get anybody over there to to pick up the cabinets and deliver them to the job, so they hire us to do that, or the company will hire us out if their truck is down or they need somebody to deliver cabinets to some of their customers. So that's been a niche we've been able to fill here as of late. It's been really heavy. Prior to that, our big niche was the mini excavators and bobcats for a smaller mom and pop um, construction equipment company. They have since gone out of business, so that business has kind of gone down. But we're still here for the big boys. So United Rentals, Sunbelt, all you guys listening, we're here for you. If you ever need our service and you're in the Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati area, give us a call. We'd love to help you out.
And what's your turnaround for like, how quickly can, like, somebody get a delivery through y'all?
Yeah. So I don't guarantee this because guarantees get you in trouble, but I tell people 90-minute turnaround. So if you need something here by noon, by about 1:30, we should be getting it to you.
Wow.
And the reason why I can't guarantee that is because sometimes we'll it's like kind of like the fire station. Like, there's a fire alarm, right? There's a fire. We get everything going, we're there, then we get the lows, and then we gotta wait because they said it was picked, they said it was ready, but it's not ready. So now now we're waiting on them. So it's like you hurry up and wait. And a lot of times the customers like, where are you at? We're still here at Lowe's and we're waiting on them to they told me it was ready. I hear you, but this is just what it is sometimes. The left sometimes doesn't know what the right is doing. So, you're just a victim of circumstance at that
Sure.
point. So, but I
Well,
like to tell people just let us know and we'll get it to you same day. Better than a lot of other companies out there who will say, I know one customer needed some cabinets delivered from Lowe's, and he said Lowe's said it's going to take him a week to get the cabinets. And it was like 3 cabinets. I said, no, we got it. You want it today? You want it tomorrow morning? He said, tomorrow morning be perfect.
hell
Make it so.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Well, and, like, I was gonna ask you, like, I know that DoorDash has a relationship with, like, Home Depot, right? But, like, it's like, what are they delivering cabinets? Like, I don't know.
I imagine their relationship is kind of like Instacart, where my wife loves Instacart. That's her go-to. I wish it wouldn't, but it's convenient, but they go in and they shop and they pick the stuff out. But I don't imagine my DoorDasher picking up my vanity for me for my bathroom remodel, my tub, something like that. That's just a little bit too big to put in a hatchback. Like you
Totally.
might need a pickup truck for that.
I got a story for you for another time.
Oh, man. Don't tell me you strapped your vanity to the top of your,
No, 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 I had to go pick up so I helped with this construction camp, teen girls camp, and we had a bunch of plexiglass, and I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I'll fit it," and I had, like, a SUV. It didn't fit, and it was an absolute it was hilarious. I had, like, a man helping me, and then anyways, but, I called my father-in-law, he's a general contractor, I was like,
Mhm.
"Any way I can get a truck?"
Yeah.
And so then I ended up one of his soups came over and helped me with his truck. I was like, This is ridiculous." It took, like,
Mhm.
I mean, it was amazing I got the help, but it took, like, an hour and a half out of my day, and I wasn't, like, very far away. Yeah, or I was very close to my home, but it was just
See,
funny.
and that's the thing is that in your mind, you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be easy. This is gonna be quick. Hour, like less than an hour, Imma get in, Imma get out. It's gonna be." And then you get in it and you're like, "Man, where is my afternoon gone?" Like, I don't even feel like doing the work now because it took so long to
Yeah, I was late to pick
to
up my
get
kid. I was like,
right,
"Oh."
right. So imagine just being able to make that call or put that order, "Hey, Blue Gopher, they're on the way." We call them, they're on the way, they're doing it. But by the time I get done doing what I need to do, it's there, it's ready to go. We're ready to rock. So,
Well, and, like, question for you, like, are your drivers like, obviously, you've been in the industry, you have a unique
mhm.
point of view. You understand pain points a lot better than a lot of other people, right? And so, I guess, like, do your drivers are they in construction? Have they worked construction, or is
Mhm.
that a prerequisite or no?
No, it's not a prerequisite, because at that point, their biggest service is just picking up A, taking it to B, and 9 times out of 10, there's a crew there to offload them. If not, typically we tell them, "Hey, offload in the garage, stage it in there," and it's really not too much that they need to know. They just need to be reliable and say what they're gonna do and do what they're gonna say. That's basically really all I need them to do. Like our drivers are bigger than drivers. They're ambassadors at that point. They're really there to be an extension of the white glove service that is Blue Gopher. Like this is a service. This is something that you're paying for. We just want you to be on your best behavior and treat it like it's grandma's house. That's always my like. How would you present this? How would you do this if you were delivering to your grandma? Like usually when you say stuff like that, okay, I get it. And I use the term ambassadors because I'm not their boss. I'm just putting them in positions to get work and to succeed. Because if they look bad, I look bad. And we all look bad and the whole system kind of goes down the crapper, right? We all have to do our part. I'm the face, I'm getting the leads and I'm helping get the business. I need you to help keep that business and hopefully grow it because you're giving exceptional service and you are giving that 5-star, Blue Gopher service that we require, which doesn't take much. It's construction, right? We know who we're dealing with. Like we're not dealing with the most uppity people. Just get it there when you say you're going to get it there and say, hey,
Communicate and
yeah, communicate. If you're going to be late, just let me know so I can let them know. Just small stuff like that. But it really, in this industry, it doesn't take much to give that 5-star service.
makes sense. And, like, with your drivers, like, you have 30 drivers, is that
Yeah,
correct?
we
Or
have
how
close
many
to thirty drivers in our pool,
in
in
your
the driver
pool?
pool.
And
Mhm.
then they make a lot more than they would make elsewhere, is that correct?
Yeah, per delivery, the lowest that they're gonna make is 30, 25, $30 in that range. Because the cheapest delivery for us is $60. So that's if you want us to go and get some paintbrushes and pick it up, $60 is the minimum. I would suggest you put some more stuff on there to make it worth the trip. But off of that, our drivers are getting either half to 2/3 of that. So you can do the math on the $60 that okay, they could make anywhere between 30, $35 on that one delivery, which I order too much DoorDash and I see how much they're making when they go and pick up my McDonald's. So or deliver my Wingstop. So
Yeah, that's really cool that you've been able to figure out that type of a model. Because
mhm.
yeah, and the fact that these are bigger ticket items, it makes sense.
Yeah, it is. And it kind of grows. If it's in a car, just think $60. If it's just a pickup, $100. If it's in a pickup, but maybe it's got to hang out a little bit, you need that red flag on the back of it just to warn people. Think about 150. If it's something that requires maybe a flatbed, a little bit heavier, $200. And then typically for our Bobcat and like the Bobcat rentals and mini excavators is usually $400 round trip, so $200 per. And that's kind of been our model. That's kind of like the top end and the bottom end. Now, flat rate is within 270, so within Central Ohio. So 270 is our outer belt. That surrounds Columbus. So if it's inside of there, it's going to be a flat rate. Anything outside of that, take that base price and basically add $1 a mile to that, and that's
Got
how you
it.
get the price.
I mean, it seems like people are like, "Well, this is worth it for me," because,
Mhm.
like, one, like, you think about, like, what backs up a job and then
Yeah.
what that that ends up doing. If you can't get your cabinets installed, then,
Yeah, you understand the time value, right? Like my time is worth this $60 item. Colin that was in the trailer in outside Nashville, Tennessee, would have gladly paid $60 to get that tarp. So I wouldn't have to go out, waste my energy, my time, so I could just enjoy my lunch and do stuff that I would like to do instead of stuff for the job. Gladly pay that figure. Um, it's and it's the hidden time waste, like we talked about. Like, oh, I'm just gonna go here in 30 minutes. And then it's like, well, it took me 2 hours because once I got there, it wasn't ready. So then, well, I might as well do some more shopping while I'm there. Well, I'm here, it's lunchtime. Let me go ahead and stop, get a burger. Well, let me get my cigarettes. Let me get my chew, my dip. That is like, wow, this is something I thought my head take 30 minutes and it's taking 3 hours. What? And then you complain about there not being enough hours in the day, or I don't have enough time to do what I need to do. And it's like, well, you just wasted 3 hours.
Yeah.
Either A, you got there late. You said you told the customer you're gonna get there at 8. So you took that time at the front end, you don't get there till 10. So now the customer's already bad because they don't know because what we're not good communicators. Construction. I'm saying myself, I'm in the construction realm, like we do our best, but most likely contractors aren't the best communicators. So you're doing
I've
the right
heard.
things. You're doing the right things. You're trying, but you're not communicating that to the customer, so they don't know what's going on. All the time, you could have been there at 8. You could have interfaced with the customer. You could have got things together, got them organized, and by the time you really needed to get to work, Blue Gopher is on the way, dropped off your stuff, and now you're off to the races, and you're more productive with your time. You're more efficient. You're able to get more done in a day.
Yeah, and I the you brought up the point of like, "Oh, hey, you get your lunch back. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, you might be going home early, be with your family or whatever." Yeah, it's those little things that add
Mhm.
up that you don't really think about, and then you're like, "Oh, this could have been outsourced in a way different way."
It could have, but a lot of people just don't know that it exists. And that was kind of the point of wanting to come on here with you and just share the gospel. Let people know that, hey, this is an option in your hometown. Blue Gopher is not everywhere, but there are Blue Gophers, companies that do what I do around the country that can help you. So I really would just want to raise awareness to that final delivery, that last mile delivery service for construction. It's out here and it's for the betterment of the industry, if you ask me. I'm not greedy, Amanda. I'm not. I want us all to win. I want us all to do better as an industry. And this new lane that we've created is definitely that it can help with that.
Well, thinking about I mean, you're talking about right now where there's other similar, I would say, around the country or whatever, but, like,
Mhm.
Blue Gopher itself, you're in Ohio, like,
Mhm.
where are you looking to expand? I know you're really trying to crack Ohio right now,
Yeah.
but, are there other states around you that you think are
Mhm.
next, or are you looking at East Coast, West Coast? I'm curious what you're thinking.
Yeah, I'm a Midwest guy, so I would definitely like to lock down the Midwest. Maybe some Kentucky. I know that's the South, but maybe get Louisville, maybe Northern Kentucky, get that area since we are in Cincinnati already. That's kind of not an easy territory, but that's a territory that's it's within striking distance. So when you open up Kentucky, then you automatically have Indiana in there. Would love to go north to Cleveland and Toledo, Pennsylvania, so Pittsburgh. So at least that west side of Pennsylvania, where Pittsburgh is, up to Detroit. So those are like off the top of my head, the states and the cities that I could see Blue Gopher really getting into. So the big ones, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Louisville, what I say, Pittsburgh, and Detroit. Those would be the cities that like to see Blue Gopher at next.
What do you think you would need in order to get that? I'm just
Mm,
trying to manifest it with you.
yeah, yeah. Um, I think if I want to do a lift like that, I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna need some seed funding and gonna need some investors. Yeah, that's a heavy lift for grassroots. Just for grassroots operation such as Blue Gopher, we're gonna need some help with that, which is doable. It's very doable. I feel like our model is set up to succeed. There's plenty of like avenues that we could charge on. Like we could easily charge people to be in the pool. Like we could charge, just to sign customers up, make you pay a monthly subscription just to even have access to Blue Gopher. There's other like avenues that I've explored, but I'm like, I just don't think that's what we want to do right now. Right now we're just trying to it's a test model. We're out here, we're getting it out to the people. It's not well known enough. The industry is not strong enough yet, but it's coming. it just takes time. We're looking for early adopters at this
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I'm thinking like the whole motto, "Start small, dream big." Just gotta
Yeah,
you gotta
start
crack it you gotta crack it
yeah,
small.
start local, think global,
Yeah.
right? That's the same idea.
I wanna actually ask you about, um, more on this, like, innovation side. Like, obviously, the construction industry as a whole is, like, very behind compared to other industries when it comes to, like, innovation, right? And, obviously, you saw this as an opportunity. Like, what else are you are you thinking about that you're like, "Oh, this is, like, ripe for innovation or disruption
Mhm.
within the construction space?"
Yeah, I mean, I would like Blue Gopher to be the first domino of many businesses that I have, and the second domino would be Blue Gopher Depot. So basically, instead of going to Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever, we have our own depot. So we're not the middleman anymore. We are the man. So kind of in a sense of a warehouse type space like Amazon, but you get everything from the Blue Gopher Depot. And then actually do have a site in mind here in Columbus to start that, and kind of think on it as a like CVS Walgreens compared to a Target or Walmart. You have your big box stores, but I just need some cough medicine. I don't want to go all the way to Walmart, go in the parking lot, fight the traffic, deal with all the people in there, get in there, walk to the pharmacy section, and then all the registers be closed. And you got to do the self checkout, but there's only one person there helping the people at the self checkout. There's 15 people in front of you. You're already sick. You don't feel well. I just want cough syrup. And, you had to go through all that. It's just a lot easier to go to Rite Aid or Walgreens or CVS to get that. Same with Blue Gopher Depot. You just need some bags of Quikrete. Why do I have to go all the way inside, go to the register, park my truck out in the parking lot? Just come to Blue Gopher Depot or order it. We'll drop it off to you. But we understand, right, man, that construction is old school. A lot of people just like to do things themselves. So come to a smaller location and get everything that you need without wasting that time of going through the big box store. So that is the next like iteration of Blue Gophers.
Well, like, you've chosen to stay in construction, like, rather than you have these people that have never worked in construction that are coming in, right? And you've stayed
Mhm,
in the industry, are trying to disrupt it almost from, like, the inside,
mhm,
is the best way to put it. But, like, what do
mhm.
you genuinely love about the industry? You went and got your
Yeah.
degree in construction management, like, what has kept you in construction?
Yeah, that is a great question. So I love the idea of taking something from nothing, like building something from nothing. Like it was literally an idea that was grown on a piece of paper, and then it was brought to life by a contractor and trades, and you leave and it's this thing that's going to be here hopefully forever, right? That's the idea, being able to go downtown Cincinnati, and even though my kids don't care, but tell them like, hey, your daddy worked on the Queen City Tower, that's the tallest building in Cincinnati. Oh, those apartments over there, the South Shore Towers, your dad worked on that, to be able to have that pride in the work, like being able to see that. I think that's really cool. Also, being able to work on a team, being able to work together with all these different people, all these moving pieces. And as a project manager, that's really it. You're like a conductor in the orchestra. And it's just sweet music when everything is harmonized and everything is humming and coming together. And you're able to bring all these different types of people together like a weave, and yeah, we do great work. So I think those are the two top of my mind that I love about construction is the collaboration and being able to take something from nothing. And yeah, it's an amazing thing.
It's amazing. Yeah, I hear I would say half my interviews have been "Oh, that's the building I built, guys." Like, they love it, like, they're like, "There's so much pride in it," and
Yes.
it's maybe the kids don't care, but, like, for them, it's just it's so cool. What a cool experience to be able to say that.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Well, on the flip of it, like, what frustrates you the most about the industry? Like, what feels unnecessarily hard, I guess.
I feel like the industry is very old school. It's very what's the proper term for it? It's good old boys network. You know, they look at people like yourself and myself as outsiders and like, we're full. We're good because like we already said, the construction industry is an old industry. And be honest, they haven't been kindly to people like you and I in the past. And things that I overcome and try to fight on a daily is just the way I look. People aren't expecting me to say what I say or have the experience that I have just because I'm a black man. And, it's not an excuse. I'm not using that as like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to grow blue gopher because I'm black and, might as well go home. No, it's just something you just have to overcome. Because if you fall down seven, you get up eight, right? You only need one yes to change this whole thing. So I'm out constantly every day overcoming that. I'll give you a stat: 4%. I think it's less than 4%. Um, African American project managers across the board, like less than 4%.
Within
And I think
construction?
within construction, like construction project managers is less than 4%. And when you're dealing in an industry where you have less than 4% representation, you kind of get what you get. But I've got to fight every day to kind of change that narrative and change people's mind and their perspectives on who I am and what I look like and what my people can do and add to the industry. I'm proud to be able to go out there every day and lay it on the line and do my best to help people out. Because at the end of the day, that's all I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to do is add value, just trying to provide you a service. This is something that I feel like I can give back to the industry. And I tell people, I'm giving you $20 worth of value for $5 back. That's it. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for too much, but I want to provide this service for you, this value for you. I want a little bit back, but you're going to gain so much more because it's not just today, it's not just tomorrow, it's the day after that, it's the month, it's the year. And
It
you're like,
stocks up.
whoa, yeah, it stocks up. The compound effect is real. And if you spend an hour a day at the home improvement store just because that's what you're used to doing, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, let's say you spend an hour a day doing it. That's 30 working days at the end of the year that you just wasted going to do it because you just wanted to do it yourself. How many jobs could you do? Your dad is
Mhm.
in the industry. How many jobs could he have done in 30 days?
Yeah, I don't even wanna talk about that.
Yeah.
That
Not to
man
mention,
loves
yeah.
his Home Depot and
Yeah. Yeah.
also the side Costco run, so yeah.
Oh. And it's the everything, right? It's the missing the dance recitals, and it's the, oh, I got to work on Saturday because I got to make up for what I lacked on during the week. Like it's so much time could be better spent. And one good thing that I am hopeful for in the future is that the millennials, the is it Gen Zers? Is that the ones like right?
Gen
Gen X?
Z, Gen and then Gen I think it's like Gen Alpha after that, and then
Yeah.
I
So
don't know
Gen
what
Z.
happens after that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I always get
Or
X and Z mixed
our
up.
kid is then a part of that, and then I'm like, "I don't even know what that means." Then I feel just fucking old.
Because it's crazy to think about it. I'll be 40 next year. And I know other 86ers and 40-year-olds, we value our time with our family. Not saying that my dad and his dad didn't love his family. It's just they value being a provider and doing whatever it took to do that. We have more value in spending time and what that looks like. I think there was a study that said millennial dads spend like 40% more time with their kids now than their parents spent with them. That's the truth. That's a dead. I am living proof of that. Our values are different. We want to provide as well, but I want to provide by having a service out there that doesn't need me every day into it, but it's still making money and it's still doing good and helps the industry. And I don't have to work 12 hours a day in order to do that. So it's the same grit, same grind, just a little bit different execution, if that makes sense.
Well, I think I've said this in other episodes and with other people, but like my theory of change is just around the values. It's like what you value, then you design your life and support systems around those values. And I think you're pointing on something really important about millennial parents. So many of them are going to be in leadership positions within the construction industry. And it's like that's those, I think, structures and the way that they've operated, I would say historically, are probably going to change just because of the values that these people have, which is a good thing. I think at the end of the day is a good thing.
It is because it's gonna be like, oh well, why are we doing that? We can get Blue Gopher to do that. Like it's a no brainer. And we didn't even touch on the shortage of the trade shortage. You used to have I'll call them expendable people, people that you could just call gophers and just say, hey, they're on the team, but all they do is run and get stuff. No, you need every person doing the work if you're even going to get the work done.
Yeah, that's a
So I think,
luxury. That was a
yeah, yeah,
luxury.
yeah, that was some luxury that we don't have. We need everybody that we can get, literally everybody. And I think Blue Gopher is there to help people realize that, like, okay, well, if I have a service, a third party service that I can only pay when I need them, that means I can promote my runners. I can promote my people that are in the warehouse, and we can actually, get them out there in apprenticeship programs and, get them climbing the ladder. And I think
Ooh,
that's worth.
I like that idea. That's
Mhm,
actually a really cool and like interesting model of yeah, of what you could do. That's a whole other
mhm.
thing, but like I
Yeah,
could totally see how that because you're almost like getting if you yeah, you're getting a pipeline of people interested about the work potentially too. Like you're getting them exposed. And
yeah,
so there could be a whole world there too on the
yeah.
education
Nobody,
side.
nobody wants to come off the street and just be a runner for a construction company. You want to be a carpenter, or you want to be, apprentice on a plumbing staff or HVAC or mechanical, electrical contractor. You don't want to just be there and just be the last guy on the totem pole. You want to actually do the work. So I get it. You get on there to learn certain things, but we don't really have that luxury anymore to have time to learn that. It's like we need you now to get to work so we can get all this work done because there's so much work out there already. We don't have enough people to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Colin, I really enjoyed our conversation. I want to ask one question before we wrap, but is there anyone you would like to thank for where you are today?
Yeah, so I want to definitely shout out my co-founder, Terrence Chambers. That's my CTO. He's behind the scenes guy. He keeps me going. He's the battery in my back. So I would not be doing him justice or Blue Gopher justice if I didn't shout him out. So shout out to you, Terrence. My wife, my family, my kids, love them. My wife is my rock. So, as I go through this transitional period of building this business, she's definitely holding us down. So I want to shout out to her. So shout out to Sierra White and my kids, Grayson and Remington. Love y'all. The whole construction industry as a place to grow. It's been good to me. It has its issues. It has its things, right? Every industry does, but at the end of the day, there's no love lost, and I know that there's much more to give to the industry to help out, so we can give back to me and others. So yeah,
Well, thank you, Colin. And I am very excited. You reached out to me, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to learn more about you and like what you're
yeah,
doing." And I'm so glad that you trusted me to give, obviously, your voice a platform to be heard and what you're doing. And I really wish you all the success in the world, and I can't wait to watch Blue Gopher grow. And I hope, I'm in the, I know you're like, I want the Midwest to lock that down, but I would love to see this on the West Coast. And so,
yeah.
there's a lot
We're
of
we're
potential
coming.
here.
We're
Yeah.
coming. You
Yeah.
just asked where we're going next, but
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah. That's,
it's remember, start local, think global, right? We're
yep.
going we're going to be worldwide one day, and we're going to have you to thank for that as well. So we appreciate you helping us along the way.
Thank you. And then, so you have an app. So for people that are within the Ohio area, can you go on the Apple Store or
Mhm.
like you download an Android and download your app?
Yeah. So, Terrence, if you're hearing this, the Android people are asking, so we have some bugs in the Android side of the app. So he's working through those, but it is fully downloadable through the iOS, the Apple Store. If that's not your jive, you just want to call me or text me. The number is 614-636-4674. That 4674 is GOF. I did not plan that.
What?
That's just how God works. I cannot. Yeah, so it's 614-636-GOPH. That's what the the
No way.
4674.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That is incredible.
yeah.
Yeah, no, universe is yeah, it is channeling,
Mhm.
baby.
Yeah, it is. So, and then you can go to our website. It's bluegopherapp.com. You can check us out there. Also, our social media, Instagram is Blue Gopher app as well. So follow us, like our stuff, tell a friend about us. That's what I tell people. Just let people know that we exist. So send this, pass this to a friend, especially if they're in the Ohio area, and tell them to connect with me. I love to talk to them.
Thank you. I love the plugs, and we're rooting for you and Terrence and your whole team. Thank you for
Yeah,
chatting with me.
no problem. Thank you for having me.